please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item number 2, public participation and recognition of guests. Looks like we do have a couple people like to address the board. First off, Mr. McMillan with Trajectory Energy. Welcome. Yeah, good.
So I've got, everybody should have a packet there at their seat there with the Trajectory Energy Partners. My name is Eli McMillan. I'm with Trajectory Energy Partners. I'm here with a proposal for the future of Oakwood grade school or junior high, or what I would know as Newtown Middle School. In the packet there, I'm going to kind of flip through a little bit and just talk about what we do and who we are. So Trajectory Energy Partners is an Illinois-based solar developer. Where our headquarters are in Highland Park, Illinois. If you look on page 3 in the top right corner, that's a picture of our team that was taken in December of one of our projects in Rockford, Illinois. As you can see there, we're a team of about 20 people. We're not a huge conglomerate or a massive company. It's just that's our entire team there, about 20 folks. We've got a representative like myself in Rockford, one in Peoria, and then I work out of St. Louis for kind of Southern Illinois to kind of give you an idea of how we cover the state of Illinois. And just to give you an idea of what we do is we build large utility scale projects, community solar projects, and a little bit of what they call behind the meter projects. And where this project is a little different for me is that I'm actually a 1988 graduate of Newtown Middle School and a third generation graduate of Oakwood High School. So this is not just a developer coming in and not being familiar with the community and not having an idea of the folks and how things run here in Oakwood. I was born and raised here, grew up here, so got family actually in this room. Met some of my closest, dearest friends in 1987 at Newtown Middle School. So I'm just here to kind of give you an idea of a possibility for the future of the school and what we could do there. And if you have questions about it, I'm here to answer them and kind of go through that a little bit. So on page 4, it talks about the 3 different types of solar projects that are available in Illinois. The first is one that you may be familiar with for, say, a home or business, is what's called behind the meter, where you actually own the solar system. It's built on your roof or on your property. It is attached to your meter. It runs the meter backwards when the project is producing power, and only you are the benefit of that power. And so you own it, you maintain it, you use it. The one on the far right, the utility scale solar, that's one where we build massive power plants from solar production that are similar to that produce the kind of power that used to be produced at the power plant up by Newtown that my dad worked at for Ameren, where they put out megawatts and megawatts of power. In between those two is community solar, and that's what we're focused on for Newtown Middle School. Community solar project is between 1 and 5 megawatts. We usually average about 5 acres per megawatt, so between 5 and 50 acres is what it takes to build a community solar project. And what that does is that power stays locally. So it would stay here. It would be added to the grid. It would not be attached to any particular meter. And so the school could benefit from the production of that power, not just at one particular site, but across the entire Unit 76 board. So I've actually seen some of the Unit 76 power bills, and I know that there's a number of different meters. There's a concession stand meter. There's a football lights meter. There's several different schools. There's this building. All of those could benefit from the power production and decrease in power bills, and not just one unit where you'd have to build or maintain, as it would be if you put it, say, on the roof of the high school. You would attach it to one meter, and it would be dedicated to that meter. Community solar, as a solar subscriber, the entire unit or the entire district, anything that's on your Ameren power bill would see the benefits of the power that's produced from that. And in addition to that, other members of the community. So the school itself, Unit 76, is the owner of the power producer, is the owner of the community solar site. They would subscribe to 40% of the power, and the other 60% could go to the community. So anybody that has an Ameren bill, anybody in this room, any parents of students, any faculty, staff, they could also sign up and see a reduced bill as well. The way that this would be built.
Can I ask a question about
Sure,
that real
yeah,
quick? Just while you're on that topic.
Yep.
So with the 60% that's available to the community, how does that usually work? You were kind of talking about individuals. Is it a thing where like, the public library, for example, would be one of your partner constituents on that, and then you've got room for 2 more, or is there a certain number?
Well, so as part of our public outreach, or when we go to, in order to get this built, we have to have a certain number of subscribers.
Okay.
On one of this size, it'd be about 500 people. So once, we sign the lease with the school, we develop the project, we get it to where it begins construction, right? Then we reach out to the community and say, this project is coming. We need you to subscribe to the power. And so typically we'll have like open house meetings, or like you said, at the library, or at just to try to get the word out. And so technically anybody that's in Ameren territory can subscribe to, you could go right now, find one of our projects in Rockford or in Kankakee, and you could subscribe to that power if it's not all the way filled up. But locally here, we want to try and drive it so that the local community members benefit from it immediately or first thing.
Okay.
And the way that it works is you kind of, so there's, you're going to be X number of thousands of panels there. You kind of subscribe to, or you adopt a certain number of panels, and then whatever panels those produce it put into, so we can't direct the solar power to go down the line to your house, right? So you would subscribe to the power that's produced, and it'll say, you own X% of this full facility, and the facility produced X number of kilowatt hours. So you get a credit on your Ameren bill for what it produced. So the typical savings for an individual is going to be about 20% off the bill. So if they get a $150 power bill, they're going to save about $30, something like that. So it's not going to be a significant decrease for everybody, but it will be, every little bit helps. And as the school could see, considering that their power bills are, exponentially greater than an individual's,
Sure.
You could see, I wasn't allowed to put it in print, but when I calculated it, when I did the calculation on what I thought that the school would save, it would be between 15 and 20,000 a year. I think would be the power savings. The other, we can go ahead and skip to page 6, I guess. So the other benefits would be that we would actually lease the property from the school on a 40-year lease. And so that part would be a fixed income for the school. So it would have an escalator. So every year it would go up a little bit. The base rate would be $1,000 an acre. So if we were to lease the entire 10 acres, it'd be about $10,000 the first year, $10,200 the next year, $10,400 the following year. And that would be paid quarterly, and it wouldn't matter. The amount of power that produced wouldn't matter. So that would be a fixed income for the school that would recur quarterly. The second portion that would be a benefit to Unit 76 is that, I'm going to kind of shock everybody a little bit here. The state of Illinois did a smart thing as far as the taxes for how solar is handled. So rather than having each county assessor go out for all 102 counties in Illinois and look at the site and say, this is what I think this valued is, the state of Illinois said, for every solar project that's built in the state of Illinois, it will be assessed at $218,000 per megawatt. So if we were to put a 2 megawatt project here, it would be the equivalent of building a $416,000 or $432,000 facility there. And so every assessor knows exactly what to assess the project at. So we can calculate from day one what we feel like the taxes will be. And so we did that. And in page, I'll flip through here a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to get that. So the first year, this project, assuming that we get a 2 megawatt project that we can rent the full 2 or 10 acres, we pay about $14,000 to Vermillion County in real estate taxes. Of that, the Unit 76 would get about $8,400 in the first year. The total tax revenue that we would project over the 4-year length of the project would be about $320,000. So if you extrapolate the $10,000 rent that I mentioned earlier, that over the life of the project would be about $600,000. So without including any of the tax bill, of the power bill savings, we're approaching a little over $900,000 for the life of the project to the school. The way that we were able to make this happen, or the way that this is advanced so quickly, that 5 years ago solar didn't really exist. Now it's kind of popping up everywhere, and here I am standing in front of you presenting this. Is that a bill passed through the state of Illinois called CUSD, whereas they're taking a portion of the taxes that are charged on individual power bills. If you look at your Ameren bill and you flip back to page 3, there's a list of taxes for environmental studies and that sort of thing. One of those taxes funds CUSD, and CUSD helps us to build projects like this. And because of that, if we were able to do the full 10 acres and build a full 2 megawatt project on there, those funds would help us to demo the school. So the school wouldn't be responsible for that if it, when it came to that. So we would actually, our preferred method would be for the school district to get the bids on what that would cost and then provide us with the bill. And you would be in charge of handling the demo of it and getting the rec done to have the demolition done, but we would pay for it because that would be part of the suggested lease that we would put out there if we're able to do the full project. The reason that I'm hedging a little bit on that, if I need to say if we're able to do the full project, since the last time I was here earlier this month, we got a little bit more research from Ameren, and then we found that there are 2 solar projects that are slated to enter onto that line that are already in queue ahead of us, in line ahead of us. So if both of those come to fruition and get built, they would build the lines to where we wouldn't be able to do a full 2 megawatt project, in which case we would then be interested in possibly doing, say, half of it and maybe just going the west side behind the school, at which point we'd be looking at like a 1 megawatt project and everything would be half. And at that point, we would not be able to demo the school. It would just be the section like where the baseball field and the track and that is. And I talked to Mr. Maynard about that, the information I just got. We literally got that, was it Monday or Friday? And so I said, do you want me to change the presentation? Or I said, well, let's just kind of talk about that. But if we were only able to do the half, if we were only able to do the west side, because we would not be spending the additional money to demo the school, we'd probably be able to pay a little bit more on the lease end of it, as far as the fixed income aspect of it would probably increase from $1,000 an acre. So I guess what my point is if this is an idea that you think would be worthy or valuable or a good piece of or usage of the land in the future, then we can start talking about getting a lease in front of your attorney and talk about commercial terms or what you think would be a viable way to go forward. And I would be here I'd be the one that would execute and make that happen. And I would be the one that would be returning along the lines to get it through Vermillion County zoning or through Vermillion County board, get the whole project approved. So it would be a local person that would be the driving force behind it, not somebody coming from Chicago or California or New Jersey or wherever the other project developers or any solar developers that you may have heard of or talked to in the past. So yeah.
The limits on that $20,000, is it capped by the usage or by the production, or is it our usage? I mean, in other words, will our entire energy bill be 20% or 30% savings?
So the amount that you can subscribe to is capped by Ameren by the amount of your usage. So it's capped in 2 ways. One, the maximum that you can subscribe to is 40% of what the entire facility produces. Okay. So in order to subscribe to the 40% of the production of the facility, you have to have at least that amount. They don't like to offset 100% of your power bill, essentially, is what it comes down to by subscribing. But, so you can choose to subscribe. You must subscribe to at least 10% of the project. You can subscribe up to as much as 40% of the project, and you can choose to subscribe to anywhere in between that 10 and 40. So along those
Okay,
lines. Depending
so
upon your usage.
it's maxed out by the 40%.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, can we go somewhere else? And
Get another 40?
yeah,
I don't think so. I did get back to you on that. But I think once you're an anchor subscriber, once you're subscribed to one, you can't subscribe to multiple
Okay.
facilities.
I was just seeing what topped it out.
Yeah. But you can do a behind the meter. So if you wanted to put solar panels on the roof of Oakwood High School and offset that a particular meter, you can do that in addition to subscribing to community solar power as well. So, or if you've got, say that the extra 2 or 3 acres that's back by the school bus behind the grade school, if you were to put solar panels there, they could run a meter behind the meter, and you could offset literally the power to that 1 meter, and then also subscribe to community solar on top of that if you're looking to double dip in some way.
Okay.
So as far as all community, what they say is if you subscribe to more than 40%, it's not a community solar project anymore. Now it's one individual solar project.
Okay.
So to keep it community, they divide it that way. I think it's the reason behind it. Yeah, on a subscription.
How long does a project like this take? Once you get to a point where there's a lease agreement that's been agreed upon, and you start, I think you and I talked earlier, up to a couple of years.
So the fastest we've ever gotten one from development to construction is 2 years. Because there is a diligence period in between there from the time that you sign the lease, where we have to do studies to make sure that there's no bald eagles that nest there, that there's no, endangered tree frogs that migrate through there, or that there's no oil pipelines that run underneath, no formally mined grounds. There's a number of different studies that we have to go through to make sure that we can build a facility there. We also have to contact Ameren and connect with them. We have to go through the state and apply for the funds. The community solar, if you're an individual and you've got 20 acres that you want to build community solar on, that group of funds through the state is highly competitive, and there's like a 4 or 5 year wait list to get those funds. For a school, though, they dedicated 150 megawatts last year, and 4 megawatts applied, 2 of which was one of our projects that I put in sample there in the packet. So we've got one project, and one other entity has another project, and then there's another 146 megawatts that are available for schools. So that money, when you apply, you're guaranteed to get it, essentially. It's there for the building. So why I mentioned that is that this could probably happen a lot quicker than some of the other projects that we've got. So our lease term comes with a 5-year diligence period that says during the next 5 years, we're going to do our studies and get our interconnection applications out and do all that. During which time we'll pay you a nominal amount, say $1,000 a year or something like that. You continue to operate business as usual. We'll just pay you for the right to do these studies, or if we have to enter the ground to do, an environmental study of some sort. And that period can last up to 5 years. I would expect for the school, it'd be on the short side. We could probably get it done in 2 or less. And from what I understand, you guys are using the facility still for, the gym primarily. If you wanted that to extend, you say we don't want construction to begin or demo to begin. If you want to enter in a minimum number of days or a minimum number of months, we could accommodate that.
What happens after the 40 years?
Yeah, so that's actually the next to the last page. So we entered into agreement with the county, or with the Department of Agriculture, that says that we will post a bond that will fund the decommissioning of the project. Page 12. So we returned the project. So up until now, about 85% of our projects have been on agricultural land. So we essentially say that we'll return the land to be farmable. In your case, it's not necessarily, there's blacktop there. There's the school building itself. There's the driveway. We would essentially remove everything that we added and leave what was there when we got there. So where, say that on the west side, the back half where the track and the baseball field and that is, there we would most likely drive piles. So there would be no concrete poured, that they would run on back to the front of it, I guess, or page 11 shows some samples of what it would look like. On the top of page 11, you can see that they're kind of resting on concrete there. So that would be, say, where the school was, or where the parking lot was, or where the blacktop exists. Anywhere where we couldn't drive a pile, we would put it on what's called a ballast, or we'd weight them down. Everywhere else where it's just open ground, we would drive the piles, and so that would just pull it right back up. It's easy removal. But the agreement that we have in the lease and that we put with the Department of Agriculture is that we return the land to the way it was when we stepped on it. And people always ask, what if you go bankrupt? What if you sell this project to another company? It's the bond is posted with the county. So even if we, retire and move to Puerto Rico, the funds are there to decommission the project.
Any other questions for Mr. McMillan? Excuse me, Mr. McMillan.
You're responsible for ensuring this project too, the town is?
Yes. Yeah. And that's another portion that I mentioned is that, or I failed to mention it earlier, is that the National Electrical Code requires that we have a 7-foot fence around the project. And so anything inside the fence we would maintain, anything outside the fence the school would maintain. If we got the whole 10 acres, then your responsibility would be done. You wouldn't have to mow it anymore. You wouldn't have to maintain it at all. If we just did the back half again, if we looked at the smaller, the half project, the 1 megawatt, then you would maintain the school portion of it, and we would maintain the impact of it. So you wouldn't have to pay anybody to mow that area anymore, or whatever else you got going in the summer. So that's a minor reduction in cost, but a reduction in cost nonetheless.
Any other questions? Thank you,
All
sir.
right, thank you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. McMillan. Next, Coach Wells.
Hello, I'm Coach Ryan Wells, the head coach of the boys track and field team at the Oakwood High School. But first, thank you for having me here. I want to say a big thank you and appreciation to school board and administrators. Today's world, I understand it is completely a difficult position to be in your positions, so I greatly appreciate it, and former administrators as well. Thank you very much. The reason I'm here today is just to give an update on our track. Current track conditions, and to encourage the board to set a path to maybe seeking a new all-weather track or improving our current track that we have right now. We currently have 30 high school athletes in track, which is up from last year. From my understanding, we have, I think, around 50 middle school track and
We
field.
initially signed 72.
At least, okay. So great potential for future growth. Our current track is in desperate need of maintenance and repairs. It's an old cinder track, but now it's kind of been mixed in with gravel, sand, some grass, mixed in with that cinder. So it retains water very easily, especially on the south and north end curves. It retains water. I think it's probably due to poor drainage issues. Current track, we're only able to run on it probably half the time because of the condition of the track. Usually if it rains pretty good, it's probably a few days till we're able to get on it. When we're not able to get on the track, our practice options are limited. Due to the location of the high school, there's no side roads we could run on. Obviously, we want to keep the athletes off of 150. So when we're not on the track, we are pretty much, our only option is running around the school in the parking lot, which is obviously it's not ideal because of safety reasons. We do set up cones. We try to ensure safety the best we can, but it's still a parking lot that we're running around in at the end of the day. It's probably fair to say, since we do start track in February, that we are running around the parking lot more than we are on the track itself. We do try to expand our practice options. We do go to Kickapoo twice a week, which we do appreciate that. But it is difficult sometimes to get the underclassmen to Kickapoo because we don't provide school transportation. So that could be difficult at times as well. But we are fortunate to have Kickapoo. Over the years, the track has been getting in worse conditions. I was there 25 years ago, and at that point, it was at least in the condition where we could practice on it most of the time. Further discussion, it sounds like we haven't had a meet there since the 70s. So it's been a while since we were able to hold our own home meet there. Compared to other Vermilion County schools, I think our track program facilities were kind of at a disadvantage. Other public Vermilion County high schools, all but two, have all-weather tracks. So us and Armstrong High School are the only public schools in the county that do not have all-weather tracks. Georgetown has it, Westville has it, Salt Fork has it, Bismarck has it, Hopeson has it. So of course Danville, but and they were able to, two of them, Hoopeston and Catlin, were able to put in their all-weather tracks before the COVID relief funds as well. So they were able to do it before then. From my understanding, a lot of the current schools use some of the, I don't know the correct term, but the COVID relief funds to improve their facilities. So us at Armstrong are the only high schools that don't have all-weather tracks that are public schools in the county. So I'm just here today to encourage the board to look into the idea to set a pathway for improving our current track, or alternatively, hopefully, one day getting an all-weather track. I believe, honestly, I believe an all-weather track is a better investment. Even if you do improve our current track, it's still going to be costly because you're looking at fixing drainage, probably leveling the track out, providing new material for the track. I don't even know if you could get cinders these days because of health department. I'm not sure. It would be probably more of a limestone base like they did the Kickapoo running path. But you're looking at cost either way. And I understand it's going to be a cost either way. I just think personally that an all-weather would probably be a better investment down the road because you can get on it basically almost about any time you want to get on it. I think having the all-weather track it does not only benefit the track program, but all sports. It'll be available to all sports, football, basketball. Any sports we have, it's open for any of them, middle school. I think it's also a quality of life issue as well, because a lot of communities, they open their track up to the community when high schools aren't utilizing it. So it's just a quality of life. And let's all be honest, when you arrive at a school, what's usually the first thing everyone sees is the football field track, so that's really, I know probably most of this room probably understood that our track needed some improvements. I don't know if you guys knew that at what extent. I guess my main concern is just because of the location of the high school, we don't have much alternatives on site to practice. It's either around the track. If we can't get on the track, it's around the parking lot in the grade school. At the high school. So that's really all I have. Anyone has any questions or anything? Or
I got a couple. Let's start. That track is small too, isn't it?
It's actually a large track. It's an old school track, so it's actually a 1/4 mile in length. So it's actually a 440-yard track, which is just slightly longer than a 40-meter track.
Oh, it's larger.
Yeah, it's larger.
Oh,
I guess so. I'm the other way around.
I
work third
I'm
shift last night, so I'm a little
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little larger. So it's a 440-yard, which is just a little bit larger than the regular 40 or 400-meter track. Yeah. And it is a little bit irregular in shape too. I think the understanding was that because the room, when they built it back then, they just didn't have the room to make it the nice, complete oval type. I think it's a little irregular, if I know, yeah.
I can share with you that over the past year, some of the strategic planning that we've done, looking at a lot of different things and our needs, of course, we have quite a few. But one of the things we did look at, and worked with a contractor to put together a design for an all-weather track for us. What would that look like? What would that cost? What will it fit where it is now? Do we need to try to find some more land? That kind of thing. So a lot of our conversations with facilities in some way are kind of tied into needing probably some more land at some point. But I just wanted you to know that that has been discussion and it has been looked at. We've not really talked about it a lot, publicly because we're still in that exploring phase. We do know that when I got the projections for an all-weather track it was basically a year ago. I think it was last March or April when I got that, Mr. Wells, that it was about $2 million then.
Yep.
So, and I've got some pictures of what that looks like and everything. I'd be happy to even, let you see some of that, but it's one component of several phases that I think that that I've presented to the board, for consideration and things. And we're right in the middle of a lot of those discussions right now and trying to figure out, it's kind of a domino effect, which is the first phase and the second phase. And then obviously the big part of that is then once we determine the phasing approach, communicating that plan, once we have it locked down, but then also how do we fund it?
Right.
So, but I just want to share with you as a form of encouragement that for the past 12 months, that has been a part of the big strategic planning discussions that we've had. So I hope that's encouraging to you. It's on the board's radar.
Okay.
And everything, and it's certainly on all of our radar, along with several other projects. So you feel free to reach out to me and ask me questions anytime.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate what you do for our kids.
Absolutely. All right. That's it.
I'm going to go on one step further. Thank you,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, because
Yes.
that was exactly where I was going to go. I think the board recognizes that we have facility needs. And as Larry said, we've been looking at that quite heavily over the last, it's been picking up more and more speed, really. Because we recognize we have some deficiencies and these are to benefit the kids. It's going to be, I have a vested interest. I have a son that's in it and he's talked about these things, the trips to Hickory. We've got a great park nearby, but again, it's the travel. So I think we all recognize this. It's kind of a two thought process. We've got our long-term goal, which I think we're moving forward and hopefully have more answers here in the near future. But in the short term, what can we do? Do we know what we can do even in the short term? Because this is years. I mean, even best case scenario, anything we do is, I'll say it and I'll say it in jest, and the speed of government. We've got to acquire somewhere. If we decide to go that route, then building the infrastructure, what is there immediate things we could do to improve? I don't know.
Yeah, in short term, the recommendation would be basically kind of leveling the track, I would say digging up that top layer of what's on the track now and just replacing it with a limestone base material would be the short term. Because that would even take care, even if the drainage is not ideal, at least that limestone tends to stay drier, just like the Kickapoo path, keep going to the rail trail path. Even after a heavy rain, you're still on that path, you're still usually able to get on it without making footprints or causing any damage to the trail. So that would be the short-term recommendation. Just take that top layer off. I don't know how far you would have to go to get some of that off and put some limestone on it. So that would probably be the short term.
Okay.
So,
Good question.
The next question is always, what's that cost?
yeah, I'm going to assume it's going to cost still.
Yeah.
Probably a pretty good penny.
Any other questions from Mr. Wells?
Thank you very much. You guys have a good evening.
Thanks, Coach Wells.
Thanks, Tim. Yep.
Next, Ms. Heather Brewer.
Hello.
Okay, so yes, my name is Heather Brewer. I do want to state that the only times that I've been to these meetings has been with my older son with his Eagle Scout project. So we feel really strongly about the school district and trying to improve things. So please know that I'm coming to you guys with the intention to make things better, and I'm not trying to stir some things up. But I am here to address with the board the concerns about the lack of safety around weightlifting. Accidents due to negligent oversight and resulting in serious injuries with our student athletes. These injuries have lifelong repercussions for our children and are dramatically impacting their high school careers. I would like to share a story of my child's injury. Perhaps I should have come to the board earlier, but after learning of another student that has been injured, I have the responsibility to share these risks with the school board in hopes that more children are not injured. And I will say that the other parent isn't here with me tonight. She was here at the last meeting, but unfortunately had an obligation tonight, so she couldn't be here. So the things that I'm sharing about the other student, I do have permission to share, so please. But I want to say that I, along with the community, was very excited to have Coach Cam join our district as a football coach. Building a program focusing on weightlifting and a healthier lifestyle is great. When we have received word that the lifting would start, I naively was very excited for my son to have the opportunity to work out with the team. In April of 2022, a week or two after my son started lifting with the team, he began to talk about experiencing some back pain. He began spending a lot of time in his bed because he said that that was the only place that he felt okay and didn't have as much pain. We made an appointment with the sports medicine doctor who asked Grant about what he was doing prior to this pain to start. Grant explained that he had began lifting weights with the football team. The doctor then asked him to explain the types of lifts that he was doing, asked him about the amount of weight that he was using, horseplay in the weight room, and safety equipment. That is when I learned that while Grant had weights above his head doing a lift, one of the boys on the team depantsed him. Grant had never told us about this. The doctor took x-rays, stated that he probably pulled some muscles with beginning to lift and the depantsing. So he started him on physical therapy. Grant went to physical therapy twice a week from April through the entire summer, while continuing to lift with the football team. But Grant would not do any lifting over his head in the weight room because he said that is what made his pain worse. When he wasn't getting any better, we took him back to the doctor and requested an MRI. The MRI came back showing that he had bulging discs. We were sent to a neurosurgeon who then sent us to another neurosurgeon due to his age. We ended up at Riley's Children's Hospital. We tried the conservative approach of physical therapy, which then led us into getting an injection. This injection for him only lasted 3 days. He got 3 whole days of relief. We then had to wait to do anything else due to the steroid usage in the shot that was used. So in November, Grant went in to have a discectomy because he continued to lift weights with the team and play football after the MRI before his surgery. His back was in much worse shape. His disc was now filling his entire spinal canal and was compressing his spinal cord. This did explain the numbness that he was then experiencing down his entire left leg. His surgery was supposed to be a 2-hour surgery, and it turned into a 4.5-hour surgery. And when he woke up from that surgery, he could no longer feel his foot. He lost feeling in his foot for over 7 weeks. He began physical therapy again 6 days post-op. It took 7 weeks of physical therapy twice a week, as well as daily stretches at home 2 times a day to feel his foot again. He's still going to physical therapy and hoping to get to a point that he'll be able to compete in some capacity. I could talk for hours about the pain of watching your son go through this recovery. The hours of him laying in his bed when all he wants to do is go to school, see his friends, and just be a teenage boy. Or the pain of having him tell you about his friends talking crap about him, about missing school, or being a pussy out on the football field because he had to sit out. Or about missing so much school because he was hurt, because he's hurt, according to the kids. I will say that his friend group has completely changed over this injury. I can't express the pain of watching your son sitting on the sidelines of the wrestling mat. Being the stat boy and the practice DJ is absolutely indescribable. When just a few short months prior to that, he was ranked in the state for his weight class, as well as the practice partner for Joe Lashaway that took second in state. He sat there and watched his name be moved down from that ranked list in the state as the season wore on, and eventually his name no longer appeared on that list. a list that he had worked so hard to be on. When, excuse me, when he was post-op, he was not able to ride in the car for longer than 30 minutes at a time. But he wanted to be with his team, his wrestling team. That's his home. Couldn't ride the bus with them because he could only be on in the bus for 30 minutes. So I was the one that got up extra early so we could leave in time to make all the allotted stops we needed to make along the way to get him safely there to cheer on his team. I could talk forever about the amount of time I've had to take off work to get him to doctor's appointments. He was 15 when this injury happened. 15. The amount of time I've had to take off for doctor's appointments, therapy, and recovery. I haven't even begun to talk about the amount of money that's had to take place for this. The high school principal and AD have been great to work with in this process, so I appreciate that. They worked with us to make accommodations for Grant to attend class by allowing him to stand or walk during class when need be. He actually even laid down in a couple classes when he needed to. But even with all those accommodations, he's missed a ton of school dealing with this. Post-op, he couldn't even begin going to school all day until after Christmas break. So at this point of the school year, he has missed 17.2% of his junior year of school due to absences for surgery, doctor's appointments, and therapy. None of that time was for illness or a vacation, but yet he's still on the high honor roll. To me, that speaks volumes to his character and trying so hard to do the right things. We were told by the surgeon that Grant's injury came from unstable weight above his head. Was this because he had too much weight above his head? Was this because he did the lift with improper form? Or was it from the depancing because it caught him off guard and he began to fall with the weights? We can't 100% say which of these three scenarios caused the injury, but we know that each of these options took place in the school weight room. We were hoping that we were just a one-off, an exception, which is why I hadn't come to you guys sooner. But I've recently learned that Grant isn't the only one that's been injured. Harley Graham began speaking up to his parents about back pain that he was experiencing. He went for an MRI that shows bilateral pedicle fracture of L4. In talking to his doctors, they learned that his injury is also due to weightlifting in teens. He currently is being seen at Riley as well, because all the doctors refused to see him here due to his age. This is the same issue that we ran into with Grant. I have heard of another boy experiencing pain, but he hasn't talked to his parents about it, and I don't feel comfortable bringing him up, but wanted to let you know that I'm concerned. I am very concerned with our youth and our athletes. I've spoken with our doctors, many physical therapists, and they all say the same thing. Safety in the weight room is an absolute must. Students need to have safety equipment, which I did hear that we recently got weightlifting belts, but do the kids know how to use them properly? I don't know. So thank you for that. But we also need to have proper guidance in the weight room. Someone that has actually been trained for proper lifting. It is one thing to know how to do the lifts yourself because you've learned how to do them over time and you know how they're supposed to feel. It's completely different to know how to properly instruct the youth how to do it correctly and to recognize improper form before the kids actually perform the lift. The kids need to understand the importance of proper form and body mechanics. They should have a certified trainer with them in the weight room when they are doing complex Olympic style weightlifting. In talking with the physical therapists and certified trainers, there are alternative lifts that can be done to create the same body response that do not put the kids at as much risk. And last and certainly not least, horseplay should never be tolerated in the weight room. It absolutely breaks my heart to have to stand before you all and talk about this, but it's important. And I can't sit back in good conscience and see or hear of other families going through similar situations. I want to share with you a post that Grant shared on social media on January 1st of this year. The heaviest burdens that we carry are the thoughts in our own head. This year has been crazy nonetheless, between success and failure and setbacks, achieving some goals, determination, but most of all, dedication. If it hadn't been for my wrestling coach who has guided me to see the light at the end of the tunnel and shown me how important the mind can truly be, I don't think that I would be anywhere close to where I am today in my recovery process. I was told to visualize my procedure and my recovery process. Truly believe that I am able to come back from this injury. I've always thought it was Glosser being Glosser, but I never thought much about our team talks until this injury. He said, when I woke up from surgery, I noticed that my left foot had been asleep. I felt as though all of my hard work and my entire future had been stripped away from me. And the worst part is that I couldn't do anything about it. Although I was worried, I had to drown out all the negative thoughts with positive ones. I started physical therapy 6 days post-surgery, and I had no idea if my foot was ever going to be back to normal. After a month and a half of not missing a stretch, constantly doing all the right things, my foot had finally come back to its normal self. I cannot thank everyone enough who has checked on me, motivated me, or pushed me to be my best version of myself. The mind is truly powerful. So I will close with this. We do not know the full extent or plan for Harley yet, as he's too new into his injury. But we know that his plans were to go to the Marines after school. Will he still pass the physical exam to be able to enter? We don't know about the other boy until he talks to his parents and begins seeking treatment. But I can speak to Grant. Grant's life has forever been changed. Grant's injury will affect him for the rest of his life. Grant has learned that he will never be able to play football again, a sport that he's played since he was 5 and absolutely loved. He began starting varsity as a freshman. We are hoping that one day he'll be able to wrestle again, but it all depends on his recovery. He is committed to try to get himself back to where he once was, but it will continue to take time, physical therapy, and dedication from him to possibly ever get there. I will say that he is trying track this season, as he can't play baseball, as he has all of his life. We are hoping that he will get to have a successful track season, and I stand before you with my fingers crossed and lots of prayers that he will get to wrestle again one day. So I just wanted to share with you guys our story. I have kept this to myself for a year. I've not been a person out here with a torch and trying to get a brigade behind me of people trying to support us through this. We've kind of quietly taken our stance and just done what we've needed to do. We have went to 3 different physical therapy locations to finally find the right one that's helping him the best that we possibly can. That one was suggested to us from Riley. So he drives to Champaign twice a week for physical therapy. Like I said, I can't express to you guys enough the pain of watching your 15-year-old, 16-year-old child go through this and have them talk about how their entire future has been taken away from them.
I want to thank you for coming in and
Yeah.
speaking tonight. So it's important for us to hear this.
It's hard. I'm not lying.
I
It's hard to
understand.
stand up here and talk about it, but I feel like it's important for everyone. I don't want to see anyone else have to go through this. I really don't. It's been such a tough road. Such a tough road. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brewer. Agenda item number 3, consent agenda. Did everybody have a chance to review the consent agenda before this evening? Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve consent agenda as presented?
Second.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, who's the first? Motion by Janeski, seconded by Plattner to approve the consent agenda items as submitted. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion for a roll call vote.
Agenda item 4, FOIA requests. Mr. Mayor, do we have any FOIA requests this month?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Agenda item 5, OEA, Mr. Johnson.
Pretty light. I know we got together to go through and finalize what we've been working on with the ESP evaluation tools. And we got the members who are in those various positions to kind of look through, and I think we've come through them pretty well and have got them as streamlined as I think what we're capable of having at this moment. So other than that, that's what we've been doing recently.
Any questions for Mr. Johnson? Thank you, sir. Agenda item 6, board committee reports. I don't believe we had any meetings this month, so. Agenda item 7, administrative reports informational. Mr. Maynard.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to start out with just reaching back as a reminder that recently we've lost a staff member, Mr. Jerry Voorhees, from our school district. And so I just kind of wanted to update you on that. We want to always respect the privacy and wishes of families in those times. And we've done that. But I also want to let you know some things that from a school board standpoint that we've tried to do also to quietly show our care and compassion for Mr. Voorhees and his close family and relatives. Obviously, during this time, we wanted to recognize him. We did that by way of a card shower opportunity by our grade school and junior high staff and students. I want to thank Mrs. Grimm for allowing us to do that and transporting those out to Mr. Voorhees. I also, on behalf of the district, we recognized him with a plaque of appreciation on his 36 years of faithful service to our staff and students at Oakwood. And we'll mention that again at the graduation ceremony. And some of the other things, we do some different things as a district in these situations to support the family and show our care and compassion and appreciation. It was a request through a close member to Mr. Voorhees, letting us know that he would prefer a donation to a Vermilion County animal shelter in his name, which we did that. So we received some cards of appreciation from her as well as from the animal shelter. So I just wanted to mention that. And again, just, these things impact all of us. And it's just important to take a moment to reflect on that and just to be grateful for the people that we have serving our kids in our school district. Everybody matters. And he gave his heart and his soul to that building and that school. And so I just wanted to, on behalf of all of us, I just wanted to just take a minute to say thank you again to Mr. Voorhees, his family, and those that are close to him. So
I do remember walking in that building one night to ref a basketball game. I went in the bathroom. I could see through the block wall, the crack in the block wall. I could see the outside. And I came back probably a year later to do a game. And after you hired Jerry, I couldn't believe the difference in the building. He did an amazing job in 1 or 2 years. So
no one takes more pride in their work than what Mr. Voorhees did. Absolute. Will be greatly missed. Our thoughts and prayers continue with the family and friends. Other correspondence I wanted to mention, the Oakwood Community Education Foundation had their annual fundraiser, very successful. They had raised over $10,000 and they sent thank you letters out to everyone, including the buildings, as well as the school board and superintendent, just thanking for the support for their endeavors to help provide resources for kids. So thank you to OSEF and their board and everyone involved for that. Also have the annual Gary Ludwig Memorial Golf Outing that will be coming up here this June. It's actually Friday, June the 9th, 2023 at the Danville Country Club. Information about this we've placed out on our website, Facebook page, so that people can be aware of that, and obviously contact information and so forth moving forward with that. I think it's important to know that the Oakwood Men's Club as well as the Booster Club involved in partnering with this, because Gary Ludwig was basically the person who started both of those. And so it's a good opportunity to, again, reflect, remember, and appreciate, and to continue his legacy through that. One of the things that I'll be focusing on this month's For the O newsletter is that we received some new information from the Illinois School Board Association about Medicaid. And in general, we will be putting out some information to our parents and the community next week explaining this, because what's happened is you have to do annual renewals for your Medicaid and your health insurance and those types of things that impacts our family. I'm just kind of paraphrasing, but during the COVID-19 pandemic, those renewals automatically renewed for people, and they're no longer doing that. So people have to get back into the habit of doing that. So that greatly impacts our kids and our families. So we want to remind them next week through some correspondence that, hey, be watching for this. That will come to you at different times. Make sure that you follow through with that renewal, and we're going to put out some information that kind of helps explain that for them. So it helps our kids, it provides resources for them, and it helps our school system. So wanted to make you aware of that. That's really important, and that'll probably be the major emphasis of my For the O newsletter, because of how greatly that will impact our families. You saw in the board packet, along with a lot of other things, you saw about the school fees, how we've restructured that. We've reduced some fees, in particular at the high school, after working with Mr. Odell and Mrs. Lee out there about some things that were fees that really didn't apply anymore. They've been there for a while, and so there was a way that we could redo that. So we feel good that we'd be able to take away some fees that we didn't need, and to get a little bit more organized with that. So it's a good time to do a K through 8 fees and registration. So that information is there for you as well. So we've cleaned that up and improved that. With the superintendent's report, I just wanted to do a reminder that you'll be getting your statements. Help me out, Mrs.
Statement of economic interest.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I couldn't bring that together here. The statement of economic interest by May 1st. So make sure that we get those in, and we'd like to have those into Dinah, so that way she can send those in and we can check off and know who has and who hasn't, and stay on top of that, because there is a fee if we don't get those in. But if you've already submitted it, and that's fine, just please let her know. Okay? You could just send her an email or give her a call. I'm sure she'd love to talk with you. Okay? All right. Let's see here. School board elections. Okay, so April 4th is election date for the consolidated elections. We have information. I've shared with you all that we've made some adjustments for that. Our next, we've made the public announcement about we do know that we'll have at least a board vacancy that will need to be appointed. April 19th is a regular school board meeting. And then May the 10th will be the board reorganization meeting after the elections. Should have the results by then. And then May 17th will be the regular board meeting with the new school board. Okay. So I'll keep you posted on that as a school board and keep moving you through that. But by all means, if you have questions along the way, just reach out to me. Okay. We do have have opened up the application for a school board vacancy on our www.oakwood76.org district homepage website, and that's at the top of the page. So I I get that information sent to me when someone fills out an application, and I'll keep the board posted on that as well. Any questions on the school board election? Okay. Recommendation before you tonight, the Oakwood Elementary School 5 through 8 Assistant Principal and Athletic Director for Nicole Pennis. We'll talk more about that. Nicole Johnson, I'm sorry. Looking at Nicole Pennis. Nicole's. We'll be recommending that to you tonight, and we're excited about that recommendation. You already heard about the Newtown building property idea that was presented to you tonight, so I will put that on as a discussion item for our next meeting. If there's more information that needs to be discussed related to that possibility. Let's see here. I also wanted to, Mr. Johnson already mentioned about our para joint committee meeting that we took care of. As really appreciate the collaboration between the association as well as the administrative team on that. OSEF is taken care of. Budget, cash flow, and treasurer's report. You have that information in your packet. We're on track with our budget, still in a good way. One of the things that I wanted to highlight tonight is that Shannon Wallace, our bookkeeper, and Charlotte Lunt, our transportation director, and myself, we worked together with a guy by the name of Jim Lovelace, and we brought him in to do a transportation audit to help us with our reimbursement procedures, to see what are some ways that we basically to do an assessment and audit, and to tell us what are some areas where maybe we're not claiming something that we could, and what adjustments could we make. He has been extremely helpful. I wish I would have met this gentleman about 7-8 years ago, because some of the things that he brought forth to us has been very helpful. And I don't know if of course, no one in here is really, other than me probably, has done a transportation reimbursement claim. You dread that usually. It's not a fun procedure, and it's very time consuming and hard. And I know it can bring a lot of anxiety. Well, Shannon Wallace is like, she cannot wait to do the transportation claim now. She's so excited. So it's been a great help for us. We paid for some services there, and he's going to continue to work with us. And he has showed us some ways in which we can, moving forward over the years, to do a better job with our transportation claim. So I think that'll help us out financially. Mr. Siddons and I met to go over some summer projects, and some of those projects even we've learned can tie into a transportation claim. So we'll be working on that here in the weeks ahead. County facility sales tax is on the ballot for April 4th election. Informational letters went out. I did have a meeting with one community member that came to meet with me. Great conversation, great questions, and was able to kind of share a little bit about what the board's interest is in that, how we would utilize the funds. So I appreciate that, and the community member even left offering any type of help or assistance, moving forward with any projects that we have. So appreciated that. I think later we'll have an update on the student resource officer for discussion. And I would just say that I'm happy to say that things are moving forward with our village of Oakwood with this position. There was a point where we were not moving forward. We didn't have that opportunity and option, but we had a great meeting, and things are moving back forward with the village, and we appreciate that, the village, so much for that. I know Mr. Smith will talk more about that a little bit later. Probably said too much already. 5 essential surveys will be completed. We had our parent-teacher conferences, and I think that is probably the majority of the items that I will cover. Others will cover some other things. I did want to mention the Golden Ruler Awards that we do annually. Will take place on April 25th, 6:30 at the Bismarck Henning Rossville Alvin High School. And of course, we have 4 members we'll be recognizing there. Laura Danzel from the Oakwood Community Education Foundation. We'll recognize Terry Wells, teacher at Oakwood Grade School. We will recognize Marcy Nicholson, social worker for the junior high school. She also works at the high school. And then we'll be recognizing Stephanie Marsh, secretary at Oakwood High School. So we've got 4 great selections that we'll be recognizing that night. If anyone would like to attend, please let me know. I'll put you on the roster, and we'll take care of dinner for you. So that is all I have this evening. So thank you. Unless you have any questions for me.
Any idea when you talk to the other superintendents, what's this look like?
The
What's the chances?
county facility sales tax. I haven't heard too much from them recently. I think that probably the things that are being talked about the most are things like, and this goes back before break, probably more to February, was utilizing funds. Everybody's pretty consistent wanting to utilize a portion of the funds if it were to pass for reducing your bond rate, your tax for people. So that's a priority. And then if facilities are in need, but we talked a lot about student resource officers and mental health people, because you can involve them in with this kind of facility sales tax as well. And that was actually a great deal of interest to the community member from Oakwood that I met with, was wanting to make sure that the student resource officer and the mental health resources were going to be a part of our plan of implementation if it were to pass. And I assured him that that was something that was important to us. So
It appears if it fails in Danville, you need every county district to pass it then.
yes. Yeah. There is actually legislation right now that is, it's been going on for a couple of years, but it's starting to pick up some steam, that with this county facility sales tax, they're trying to pass legislation where you do not have to have all of your counties passing it outside of your biggest entity. In short, basically would say that if Danville never passed it, the rest of us could, and it would go. And we wouldn't have to worry about them. And we would only have to have, I think it's a 2/3 of the other schools. That's legislation. Hasn't passed yet, but there's something moving through related to that. So I'll keep you posted if anything changes there in the future. But just hope people come out and vote. I hope that that letter was informative. And I always like people to be best informed so they can make the best decision that they have in their conscience.
You mentioned the solar project that'll be up on a future agenda item, discussion item. So, will that also include procedures to get to that point? I mean, I think we would have to go out to some RFP, correct? We couldn't just. I'm just trying to think through that process.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to check with the attorney on the RFP process related to this. And there's different things related to solar. So I've been researching it, but I'm not clear on it yet myself. But yes, we have to know what that is, because even though Mr. McMillan was here tonight presenting the idea, if we were to move forward with something like this, the likelihood of it, we would have to RFP it.
Okay.
But I've got to check with our district attorney to make sure we dot our I's and cross our T's on that. Sometimes there are allowances for not having to RFP. I think in this situation, because it's a lease and because we would be getting revenue and it's not an expenditure, there may be something in the statute, the attorney told us, that would allow us to not have to RFP. But he wasn't sure, and he was going to get back to me on that. Good question.
Any other questions from Mr. Maynard? Thank you. Curriculum, Ms. Kimbrough.
Well, we started IAR testing today, which is the kickoff of the assessment spring. We had a couple classes, all 7th and 8th, 6th grade. We start with everybody tomorrow, so we're hoping that all goes well. The STEM room is done, but because with testing started, we've not kind of gotten in there. We will receive a 3D printer, and I've been working with somebody from DAC who has the same kind of printer and asked me to come and tour his facilities to kind of look at some of the things that they are using. So I'm going to take them up on that. And then I would like to take some freshman and sophomore kids with me, possibly in a month or so. And then we talked about taking some junior high kids so that they could get an idea of what they have out there and make some decisions before, it's too late to make those decisions. So it's a good resource to have. And it was nice to have somebody recommend a printer that is being used. He knows how to run. He said he would kind of help me with that. So all good there. But really just testing is what we're going to be doing here for the next few weeks. And then that will go into 5th, 8th, and high school doing the science assessment as well. And then we'll be back to math testing. And then that'll take us to May. So we're doing a lot of testing. So that's about all I have.
Any questions for Ms. Kimbrough? Thank you. High school principal, Mr. Roto.
Well, this will be short and sweet. We're gonna have SAT testing. We've got also the freshman orientations coming up on April 5th. So we're getting all that information out. SAT testing, seniors will not attend school on that day, which is a normal procedure that we have because we can't really run our regular class schedule with all the testing that has to take place in the morning. In the afternoon, we're going to run a abbreviated schedule to get everybody through at least with their teachers for that day in the afternoon that are present. We also have a letter from the IHSA congratulating the wrestling team on finishing 4th. And we actually got some reimbursement when you do finish in the top 4 in the state. In most sports, there's a reimbursement from the IHSA that helps offset some of the costs for hotels and transportation and meals and those types of things. So we did receive a check of a little over $700, if I'm not mistaken, for that came back to the district. So a lot of schools don't realize that because not too many schools make it to the top 4 in the state. So we were blessed to have that. And this is a nice letter from Assistant Executive Director Sam Knox congratulating our school district on the performance of our wrestlers. And it was very fun to watch and fun to go see and get down on the mats and get your medals. And in this situation, since we co-op with Salt Fork, we purchased a second 4th place trophy so that they can have one in their trophy case and we will have one in ours, and also a few additional medals so that we can make sure that we got everybody that we felt deserved a medal for supporting the program, a medal. So that was really exciting. And then the other thing that we have, and it's here on, I'll have get the board president to sign it, the IHSA renewal for our membership. Okay. During COVID, they actually charged us for that and we had to pay a fee. They are back to no charge. So not only do we get to renew our membership, but they actually gave us money this year, which probably recouped some of the money we gave them during COVID. So with this wrestling team. So from the principal's report, that's basically all I have. You got the rest of the information there. And unless you have any questions.
Not so much as a question, Mr. Odle, but comment. I'm interested in learning more about some of the weight room policies and procedures. If you'd be willing to evaluate that or review it and present back to the board next month to see what is currently our standards in there. I hope the rest of the board feels the same way, but I'm interested to know more about that. So if you'd please present that next month, I would appreciate it. Whether it's you or Mr. Shelton.
One of us will make sure that we have
Thank you,
that
sir.
all together.
If you have any questions, please reach out, but
We've already started a little bit of research on that, so
yeah, please report back to us.
Yeah.
So,
we will.
thank you, Mr. Odle. Any other question, Mr. Odle? Okay. Mr. Shelton, pardon me?
I've got 2 things I can share with Mr. Shelton in his absence, if you'd like.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sure. Mr. Shelton is not able to be here tonight. He'll be back next month. And 2 things to highlight that he shared with me. One is we will have the wrestling team here in April. We'll recognize them as guests at the beginning. So we'll have them here. And then the other thing is that we're still waiting on the response back from Salt Fork on the cooperative agreement. So hopefully we'll have that next month. That's all I have.
Junior high, Ms. Burton.
Good evening. We finished our parent-teacher conferences. The fall parent-teacher conference at the junior high is a gallery walk that gets the parents from the 7th grade to meet the 8th grade staff, and I thought that went well. We also had a student council winter workshop where our area schools came to the junior high in March. Thank you, Mrs. Grimm. and it was very successful. It was on a Saturday. Our spelling team had made it to finals and they finished fourth, and we did have some sixth graders on that team this year, and that was exciting. Track, we started up, our sign-in was 72, and we finished in the mid-50s, and we do have 5 through 8. I think we've always competed well individually, but it was hard to get for team points, and I think now we'll be able to also compete team-wise, so that's exciting for us. Student council also received a letter during spring break that they made honors council. There's a specific criteria to do that, and Mrs. Grimm and the students have done a really great job on offering a lot of activities for the students and fundraising kind of activities, or more, not fundraising, where you give things to people and support our community. So I'm proud that they are an honors council again. Scholastic goal is in full swing. We are doing IAR, ISA today and next week. We had all of our kids on the computers. Before, when we were in Newtown, we could only do half the school, so it was really exciting to be able to know we're going to get this done in a week. It's not going to take us 2.5 weeks. So we're going to be able to get back on track for some education or app testing. So I'm really excited about that. Tomorrow, I will be taking Emma Kuntz and Lucas Titus to the IPA breakfast to recognize them for our exceptional students at the junior high. So thank you.
Any questions for Ms. Berger? Thank you. Ms. Lepenis.
So I want to publicly thank Mrs. Johnson for all of her hard work with the science fair. She is the science guru, but she did kick it off by bringing a really neat activity to the grade school and for the junior high. So we had a planetarium in the gym, and the kids just really loved that. So thank you, Nicole. Then I shared with you some pictures from our kindness week. So we want to thank Mrs. Hale for doing that each year. She does a really nice job of recognizing students for showing kindness, and then we get to have some fun dress-up days as well. Miss Phelps was the Area 4 Teacher Spotlight through special education. She has been working with the ROE very closely, and they wanted to congratulate her on all of her hard work and tell everybody about all of the great things that she's been doing since she joined us here at the grade school at the end of October. And if you looked at the very last, this is probably my favorite picture. It's Paisley Reitsma dressed up for Mr. Glosser Day, and she is quite possibly the cutest little Mr. Glosser of life. If you noticed that. But she did a great job of dressing up for Mr. Glosser, so had to include her.
Any questions, Ms. Lepenis? Thank you. Ms. Acton couldn't be here. Technology, Mr. Richardson.
So as Mrs. Burton and Michelle said, the testing kicked off, and we had all 7th and 8th graders and all 6th graders on this morning, and the network had no issues. Everything ran great. So that's gigantic leap from how we had tested out in Newtown before, which was so much easier. We still had a few user issues we had to work out. Nothing ran completely perfectly on that end, but the network itself worked perfectly. And then I did finally get final bid back in for the last fiber lines that we get installed at the grade school. That's all done through the state E-rate consortium. AT&T actually won that line. So we'll be getting our fiber line from AT&T, but it's actually the internet itself is pulled from the same place as the high school, which is the ICN, which is the state's internet service provider. So AT&T just carries the signal there from the grade school to the ICN, but at the high school, it's Comcast that carries that signal. So where they did it this way, I'm not sure why AT&T won the bid this time. They must have went lower for the state. I don't get to this on that. But so that's set, the service begin is July 1st. So they have to get, AT&T has to get that installed by July 1st this year. So I'm excited to get that going, and then we'll finally be done with the installations. We'll have 4 times faster speed at the grade school than we do right now. So if everything's working right now, that should keep us future-proof for at least the next 10 years. So other than that, I really don't have anything else. If anybody had any questions or anything. Oh, we'll cut the Comcast bill. I guess I know Larry likes cost savings. We'll cut the Comcast bill at the grade school that we pay right now. It's about $330 a month. That'll be gone. Because when we're with the consortium that pays 100% instead of the 70%. So that'll save us $330 a month once we get that turned off. I expect to have that turned off probably in August. Maybe I'll keep it to September just to be safe with the AT&T, because our phones actually run through that internet line too.
Any questions for Mr. Richardson? Thank you. Ms. Lunt could not be here tonight. Maintenance custodian, Mr. Siddons.
Got a couple of updates for us, from the last board meeting. I turned off the boiler at the junior high, so, the power bill and the gas bill is probably on the way down. Turned off about everything I can possibly turn off to, be able just to have it running. Baseball moved up there this week. Gonna start using it more. Fitting tryouts start tonight, so they'll be in there too. But there's no heat on, no air conditioning on at this point. It's not bad in there, so I think when the boiler was going, they were opening the door anyway, so I think they're all pretty happy with everything now. The other thing is, got an update on the high school gym floor today. We pushed it back to May 1st. Trying to get all the paperwork and get everything all taken care of and everybody on date. So we're back into May 1st. That's going to push it back in the summertime. I talked to Kyle a little bit. Looks like our camps will probably be between the junior high and the grade school, so they're going to start scheduling that. So it's going to be a busy summer with that. Playground, talked a little bit about it. The start date of it is the day after we get out of school, supposedly. We'll wait and see. We're hopefully that's when it all goes. I think they're talking a couple of weeks of doing it. So we'll have to plan around that because I'll have to go through the building for cleaning. So we'll have to figure a schedule out for that. The weather's starting to cooperate a little bit. Jeff and I did work on the track a little bit, get some of the grass and some of that. And like he said, there is a lot of rock and stuff on it. So it's just a possibility. I don't know where we need to head to that. I mean, we can have some conversation. I'll have some conversation with Larry where we want to go and if there is something we can do to help out. I've seen them put lime on to help out for a few years. The lime does go away. So I think about the only option that, cost wise right now would be the lime. I don't think we want to go back to cinders. So the lime would pack down and make a harder surface. And it would build the track back up a little bit because we are down below quite a ways where they have been in the past years. So, but we can have more discussion on that. I'll be getting with Larry on that, see what he wants to do and get a cost. The other thing is tomorrow, I mentioned Nicole, I haven't had a chance to talk to her. We're going to start putting the mulch back in at the grade school playground tomorrow. So hopefully it'll be a lot nicer for kids not being in a little bit of mud and stuff. So I'm really hoping we get that done tomorrow. So otherwise, I think summertime we're going to be not a lot of big projects, but we do have some that we want to get accomplished. A lot of little things to make the building look better. So we'll be talking about that probably next month. So any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Siddons. Agenda item number 8, old business discussion. I do have a student resource officer discussion there, as Mr. Maynard alluded to. He and I met with acting mayor, Mr. Wright, and police chief Soderstrom on March the 9th. Very good conversation. As Larry again said, that they're wanting to work with us on this. Some of the things I took away from the meeting is we need to come back with them what we want, what our desires are, needs, expectations, kind of formulate a list so they have it. Kind of work out the nuances of where they may go, office, no office. Just a lot of good conversation. We're not there yet, but we've made I think substantial gains from what we were in February, not knowing if they wanted to even have discussions with us. So Any questions? Like I said, we're still really early on this. I don't have much more to report than that. Any other thoughts from the board? Or just keep working with them?
Keep working with them.
Yeah, we'll be meeting with them again, hopefully, April. We can sit down and come back to them with what our expectations and needs are for the village, and hopefully have something posted to have a new SRO by fall. Agenda item number 9, closed session. We do have a need to go into closed session this evening. Do I have a motion to go into closed session at 6:56 PM to discuss testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee?
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Hicks to enter closed session at 6:56 PM. Janeski?
Yes.
Lynn?
Yes.
Plattner?
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Hicks?
Yes.
Motion carried, roll call vote 2.
We're live.
Need a motion to re-enter open session 8:04 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Plattner to re-enter open session at 8:04 PM. Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
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 Motion carried by roll call vote 3.
Agenda item 10A, agenda item 10, consideration action. Again, hiring is contingent upon successful completing background checks. Agenda item 10A, transportation. We have a recommendation to approve the bus lease addition for a third lift bus with Midwest Transit for 2 years, the 2023, 24, and 24 and 25. This annual lease payment of $19,263 per year. This does include licensing, title, fees, and warranty.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Plattner to approve the bus lease addition as presented. Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 4.
Agenda item 10B, we have a recommendation to keep the custodial summer hours and schedule the same for 2023. Custodian hours are Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. Summer hours begin the first Monday after the last day of student attendance. Regular hours will start the first Monday in August. Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Janeski to approve the summer custodial hours as presented. Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 5.
Agenda item 10C, coming from the Oakwood Junior High School, recommendation to employ Parker Lee as a junior high track and field coach beginning with the 2023 season. He'll be in category 1, first year of the extracurricular pay schedule. Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Plattner to approve the employment of Parker Lee as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 6.
Agenda item 10D, we have another one from the junior high school. Recommendation to employ Cole Moss as a junior high track and field coach beginning with the 2023 season. He'll also be in category 1, first year of the extracurricular pay schedule. A motion to approve the recommendations presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Lynn to approve the employment of Cole Moss as presented. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 7.
Agenda item 10E, another one from the junior high school. Recommendation to approve Olivia Chen as a 5th through 8th grade volunteer assistant track and field coach for the 2022-23 school year. Have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Janeski to approve volunteer Olivia Turner as presented. Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 8.
Another from junior high school. We have a recommendation to approve Tiffany Johnson as a 5th through 8th grade volunteer assistant track and field coach for the 2022-23 school year. We have a motion to approve the recommendation presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Plattner to approve volunteer Tiffany Johnson as presented. Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 9.
The junior high school recommendation to approve Sarah Hunsberger as a junior high volunteer assistant student council sponsor for the 22-23 school year.
So moved.
Second.
What step is that at, or is there a step on that?
For the volunteer.
Volunteer.
Oh, that's volunteer. I'm sorry.
We're
I'm sorry.
okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
That's a good question.
Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Janeski to approve Sarah Hunsberger for volunteer assistant student council as presented. Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yeah.
Motion carried by roll call vote 10.
Coming from the 7th and 8th grade, recommendation includes Zoe Ensign as a 7th, 8th grade cheer coach beginning with the 23-24 school year. She will be on step 1 of the extracurricular pay schedule. A motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Janeski, seconded by Lynn to approve Zoe Insing as the 7th and 8th cheer coach as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 11.
Coming from the high school, recommendation to approve Austin McDaniel as a high school volunteer assistant track coach beginning with the 23 season. We have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Plattner to approve volunteer Austin McDaniel as presented. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 12.
Agenda item 10J, we have a recommendation to approve the salary increase for Lisa Acton as an Oakwood grade school pre-K through 8 assistant principal to the amount of $75,000 as the base salary for the 23-24 school year. Benefits are paid TRS and insurance will also be provided to the employee. This is a 10-month position. A motion to approve the recommendation is presented.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Lynn to approve the salary increase of Lisa Acton as presented. Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 13.
Agenda item 10K, we have a recommendation to approve the salary increase for Nicole Pennis as an Oakwood grade school pre-K through 8 principal to the amount of $88,500 as the base salary for the 23-24 school year. Benefits of paid TRS and insurance will also be provided to the employee. This is a 12-month position. Do I have a recommendation to approve? Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Plattner to approve the salary increase for Nicole Pennis as presented. Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 14.
Agenda item 10L, we have a recommendation to approve Nicole Johnson as the Oakwood Grade School 5th through 8 Assistant Principal, Athletic Director for the 23-24 school year. The base salary will be $62,000. Benefits of paid TRS and insurance will also be provided to the employee. This is a 10-month position. Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Plattner, seconded by Hicks to approve the employment of Nicole Johnson as presented. Smith,
Yes.
Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 15.
Agenda item 10M, again from the Oakwood Grade School. We have a recommendation to employ Morgan Curley in the vacant position of personal aide for the remainder of the 22-23 school year. She'll be on step 1 and her rate of pay will be $13 per hour. Do I have a motion to approve the recommendation as presented?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Motion by Hicks, seconded by Lynn to approve the employment of Morgan Curley as presented. Hicks,
Yes.
Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carried by roll call vote 16.
Agenda item 11, new business, Mr. Mayor. I do not believe we have any new business. Thanks, sir.
I
Agenda
would
item,
just like to, if you don't mind,
uh,
at this point in time,
yes, sir.
I would like to just say something about Brenda Dowers. I don't really know the woman very well, but 30 years at anything is kind of amazing. 30 years as a bus driver, my hat is off to her. So I don't understand how she could do 30 years in a bus. But, that was wonderful what she did. So
Thank you, Mr. Janeski. I do agree. That's wow. Agenda item 12, adjournment. Our next regular meeting is gonna be Wednesday, April 19th at 5:30 p.m. We will be having a board reorganization special meeting Wednesday, May 10th at 5:30 p.m. Our May meeting will be Wednesday, May 17th at 5:30 p.m. We have a motion to adjourn at 8:14 PM.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Okay.
Goals do.
Motion by Lynn, seconded by Platter to adjourn at 8:14 PM. Janeski,
Yes.
Lynn,
Yes.
Plattner,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Hicks.
Yes.
Motion carried. Roll call vote.